This video will teach how to remove and dismantle the Singer 301A sewing machine motor. The video after this one will teach how to inspect and maintain the motor. My sewing machine motor experience is mainly with the Singer 400-500 models. Once the motor is back in, then it will be time to replace the hook gear. I'm really interested in doing this because I've never done a 301 or a 301A motor before, so it really is an education for me. I hope that this video will be of some help to you. So there's the motor there. I can see sideways though, and it is a PA2 motor. So this is the metal plate that holds the motor in position. So this screw has to be undone. This plate comes off, and then we just very quickly, easily slide out the motor. Do you believe that? Well, usually they're made to tight tolerances. And you know, this one's been there since about 1950, early 1950s, so it's been in there a while probably. So anyway, we'll get to work getting the motor out. Okay, we'll get started. Screw. This is the screw that holds the mounting bracket. That was a loud snap. And it is stiff. But this is the screw that holds this mounting bracket, which holds the sewing motor. We're in now. The next thing we want to really pay attention to, or that I want to really pay attention to pointing out, is that we need to undo these two leads. And we're not going to pull the wires. We're not going to pull them out by the red wire and the black wire. Going to go in there and hold that plastic white cap and give it a wiggle and just kind of slowly see if it will. It will. But it might take a little bit of patience there because they've been in there a long time. So those wires are out of the way. So now the motor is free to be extracted from the machine. And I'm going to put my fingers in there first, and I can't really feel any play. I'm going to turn the machine over, and I'm going to take the top cover off. There's two screws we have to undo to take the top cover off. This is one of them right here. That one's out, and then we have another one right over here. There, so we've got the top cover off now. And that felt a little bit icky or greasy or something. My point in coming here is that this right here is the other end of the motor. If I apply some pressure here, I may be able to get the motor out. The hand wheel does not necessarily have to be taken off or disconnected or anything like that. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of a push with the end of the screwdriver. It'll make a little bit of a noise. It's going to be a fast kind of smart push. And you can see that it's gone in. So now we're going to go back to the other end. The thing about these motors, it's hard to grab them. Like there's no real place to grasp them because there, it'll come out now. It's actually fallen out already. So before we get too far away from here, I just wanted to get a little better look. Maybe there's really not a whole lot in there to see really. There's there's two rods, vertical rods that are coming down from the horizontal arm shaft, and you know the substructure for the motor. But let's get back to the motor. Let me move this out of the way for now. And I already know what I want to. I've never seen this before, so this is new to me just like it's new to you. And what I can tell you right off is that is really clean. You know, it really is. What I would like to point out is that, get a little bit of a focus going here. What it does say is that, where does it say it? It says it right here. Singer sewing motor, catalog number PA2-8. So this is a PA2, a Singer sewing machine motor, PA2-8 is what this is called. And then there's some electrical information, 110, 120 volts. It also says the patent number, the amperage, which is 0.53 amps. It does say the cycles 0.25 to 75 or whatever, and direct current. It says made in USA, and it also says the Singer Manufacturing Company, Elizabethport, New Jersey. And what we see here now there are 4 screws. There is 1 screw there, and then there's an equal one on right across, 1 there, and then at the other end, there's a screw there, and a screw there. Yeah. And what I want to point out to you, well, maybe I can't point out, no, I can't see anything yet, so I can't explain my point yet. But the point is that these screws, this one here at the dark end and then this one here at the light end, they both screw into the same double-ended bolt or stud or whatever you call the thing with the threads in it. And so it's really cool the way these things are constructed. Let me see if this, well, that screwdriver is a little bit too large. There, that's coming undone. Cool. So there it is. And then there's another one over here. Oh, actually, let's stop right here, yeah. Now that that screw is out, the cover comes off. And what we see is, you know what, this is really cool. This is really cool. This is really clean. This motor is very clean. It is. Wow, this looks really clean. I'm just trying to get a peek at the commutator, which is right there, and it does look like it could use a touch-up of a cleaning. There, you can see it there. Maybe if I turn it, you'll see it there at the bottom, turning leftward, right by my thumb there. So yeah, that's the commutator. But it looks pretty clean too. I think this guy had it serviced. Well, either that or the machine never got used, because this I really want to see the rest of it. So that screw is there. I'm trying to remember where those 2 screws came from. That came out. Oh, they came out of the top. Right? They came out of the lid. So let me get this other one out. And that just fell out. And same deal, it's really quite clean in there. You know, I did get some on my finger. So, but that's where the brushes are, and the brush tubes. And they sit right in there like that. And then when we take these screws out, there we go. That one's a little sticky. And what you can see happening at this end is right here is that full threaded nut. It's going to come out into my hand, because we just took this long screw out, which was the last screw holding it in. Whoops, there, they both came out. See, they both fell on the towel there on the deck. Let me get that out of the way. and get this aimed up a little better. So that's really cool. So we're gonna put those over there. Those go with that. Those go together. Those go with those or those. And when we open up the motor casing, we're going to see up here behind these two electrical terminals, there's an insulator. So that when the electricity comes in to go into these terminals, there's wiring, a little bit of wiring and stuff behind. So they have an insulator in there, insulation, an insulator, so that this doesn't become electrified or even just short that out. So let's slowly, now the other thing is there is a spacer which lines the two halves of this motor up, and that we'll see that in here with the insulator. So we'll just take it out nice and slow. So here's the insulator right up here, and there it is. And that's a little different from the ones I'm used to in the 400, 500 series motors. But like I say, this is a new adventure for me because this is the first time that I'm working on a 301A. And as we continue, we can see right down, where's my pointer tool? We can see right down there is the spacer. Let me get you a little closer maybe. But, well, it's hard to see with, oh, there you can see it there, arching up in that space there, right there. That's the spacer right there. So that'll fall, maybe. So I'll pull it apart slowly. There. So that's out. And here's the little spacer. So we'll put that there. And now we still have the tubes with the brushes and the springs. So I'm just going to take them out right now, and they're easy to get out. All you do is just kind of pull this forward. Let me see, let me take a look. See right down there, there's a ledge where you can kind of get your fingernail in. Or you can put your fingernail behind there. Whoops, I didn't mean to throw. Well, everything's falling apart on me here. Okay, so there's the tube, and there's the spring and the brush. And my pointer is gone. And here is the other tube. And same thing, I pulled it out and it fell right through. And there is the brush and the spring and the casing. Now there's a little bit of grunge, but these are really in very good condition. I'm not used to seeing motors in this good condition, you know, but even the exterior was nice and clean here. So now we're going to take this end out. Oops, pardon me. Are we going to take it out? Is it this end? No, it's not this end, it's that end. But while I have this in my hand, here's the commutator, and I mean, for, you know, considering that it's a 50 some odd, well, it'll be older than that, it was made in 53 or 54. This may be a 54, maybe, it's probably a 53 or earlier. But if we go 54, 64, 74, 84, 94, that's 40 years, 50. It's, you know, 70 years old. And I think this has been cleaned. I think it's been serviced. But that's pure speculation on my part. Now, here's where the really interesting thing occurs. Oh, I'm gonna have to get a better light. Let me take this out of there. Ooh. Yeah, that took it all right out of there. There's the terminals for our wiring for when we plug it in. That's where the insulator was up there, right there. And these are the terminals that pick up the electricity from these tubes, which is getting the electricity from the brushes on the commutator, right? Right. So we can put that over there. And now we get to the best part of the whole story, is because down there, okay, and now my pointer's down there, so I'll use a screwdriver. Here's the deal now. This bearing down here has to come out, it has to be cleaned, and this is the bottom bearing. This is where the spindle for the commutator, that's where it all fits in there. And this faces down in the machine. This was the end that we were trying to pull out at the bottom, right? Right. And so, you know, and these things get greased, the motors get greased, and that's where it all ends up, down in that little cavity underneath this bearing. So, but it's kind of an unusual bearing because there's no, like it is the ball. There's no other balls. Like, you know how bearings have balls and round things and stuff? Well, this one doesn't. That's the whole thing. And it is a pressed metal or combination of metals. But the way it is held in there is by this bottom bearing retainer clip. And this is a spring device. And we can see right here the spring or the wing of the retainer clip goes into these plastic, or Bakelite, I guess this is probably Bakelite, blocks. And there's one there, and there's one on this side here as well, right there. And what has to be done is they both have to be held down at the same time, and then it has to be rotated. And a lot of time, if you're lucky, fortunate, you can just stick your thumbs in there and do it. But I'm kind of lazy, and I like to have fun, so I've got another way of doing it. Here's how I do it. We can see the two tabs. One there and one there. There's the bottom bearing. And this is unusual, and there's nothing really to grab onto. And we've already talked about how weird the bearing is because there's no ball bearings. It's just a ball and a bearing by itself. But what I do, like in order to do this somewhat simply, these pins have to be pressed down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stuff Kleenex down in there to hold them down while I take my needle nose pliers, and once the tabs are pressed down and can clear the Bakelite upper tabs holders, then I'll just use the needle nose pliers to turn the thing. So wish me luck, and I'll get going, tearing off a piece of Kleenex like that and folding it up. Then I'm going to take the screwdriver, hopefully. No, I'm not. I'm just going to see if I can shove it in there. So I'm going to grab it. And you know, that's the other thing. This is such a hard reach, you know? Like, I'm kind of a tall fellow a little bit, so I probably have fairly long fingers. There will be little challenges along the way. Let me see if I can get that in there now. I missed. But you know, it's down there now. So now it's just a matter of me maybe press there. It's going in now, starting to. Can you guys see this? So, see how I've packed that Kleenex in there? It's dirty now. The other thing I could do is take like a little piece of this kind of card or whatever. Came off the new shirt that I bought yesterday. And it's actually easier to fold and hold than Kleenex. So I don't know if that's enough there to raise this other side or not. Well, I'll try it. You know, actually, since I have the one already raised or lowered, I'm just going to see if I can, which way do I have to push it out? Okay, this one has to come out this side. So I have to press that down and push it that way. Now, it will fly out, so I'm kind of holding my fingers over, but it will pop out because it's under pressure, it's under tension. So, and okay, here I'm going to press it, so watch. And I'm using the screwdriver, not the, well, I don't know. It doesn't seem to want to. Maybe I'm blocking it at this end from even getting out. Maybe that's it too. So now I'll turn it around and see if I can get it out that way. And it went flying. And I hoped my finger would not let it go flying, but there's the bearing. And and the clip is out. But anyway, we've gotten to where we need to be with this. Thanks for viewing. I hope this helps you or is entertaining to watch or something. There's all my parts. I'm gonna turn the camera off in a minute after I say bid you guys adieu and go and find the clip. I hope it, maybe I'll look in my coffee cup. I didn't hear a splash, but I got a coffee going over there. So there's Tan, the beautiful 301, and we've taken the electric motor apart. And thanks for viewing. I will ask you to please subscribe and like and hit the notification bell. And please do come back again and have fun, stay safe. Have fun with your 301s and your 301As and your 221s and all your other singers. And stay safe, have fun. Adios, amigos. There, I did find our spring buddy, so it's safe and sound. And just wanted to let you know that, you guys. Ciao.